Hi, I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times. On Thursday, September 17th, news from Arkansas and around the world. Last night were another round of Republican presidential candidate debates, 5 hours in all, 3 hours in the main event. A ton of candidates and a ton of words. Mike Huckabee, the man from Arkansas, or maybe it's Florida, I'm not sure, had a very little amount of airtime, and it made him very unhappy. He mostly got noticed for his continuing perversion of the law on the Kim Davis matter. I think Carly Fiorina and Marco Rubio have been seen by most of the web wise guys as the winners last night. They didn't particularly impress me. John Kasich did, but if I was impressed by him, that's probably a bad sign for him in the Republican primary. Donald Trump was toned down last night. Probably hurt him. I think he's better when he's playing his reality TV role. Other news in Arkansas, the highway construction lobby has told John Lyon of the Arkansas News Bureau more about its plans for a way to raise money to continue to build highways and to do maintenance on existing roads. They got an idea for a 10-cent increase in the gallon rate of tax for people on gasoline and diesel, higher registration fees, taking general revenue money for highways. How are they going to get all this through the legislature? Well, they've got a grand idea. They want to cut the income tax for corporations and other people, and it would be a boon to the rich. With this legislature and what it likes about cutting income taxes on rich people, this might be an idea that'll go somewhere. It'll be classic reverse populism, make the little guy pay for roads while the rich guys get a tax break. Hope it doesn't turn out just exactly that way. After yesterday's taping, their news came from the Judicial Discipline and Disability Commission that had closed out a complaint on improper behavior by 4 members of the Arkansas Supreme Court in the unconscionable delay of the same-sex marriage ruling, a case that actually they never ruled on by the time the U.S. Supreme Court finally struck down such bans. The judicial body said it couldn't find evidence, either in testimony or in documents, that the delays in the case were intentionally done to subvert justice. They said they found no evidence of bias or any clear impropriety. So the judges were let off the hook. However, it doesn't take a genius to figure out. 2 sitting justices and one who left the court last year have made it very clear that they believe this case was delayed for political reasons. The court is outcome oriented. They didn't want to rule on this case, and they didn't. Those are the facts, whatever the Ethics Commission may have found. More news on a long simmering investigation of impropriety in mental health services contracts between the Department of Human Services and some agencies that get Medicaid money, millions of dollars of it to do it. A second person has pleaded guilty to participating in a bribery scheme, funneling money from an unnamed mental health services agency to Steve Jones, a former state legislator and a DHS official, to get him to provide critical information and help to this mental services agency up in North Arkansas that's never been identified in federal documents, but Ted Sewell and his Trinity Behavioral Health, once known as the Lord's Ranch, have been identified by DHS as the agency that supposedly benefited from Steve Jones's help. They were cut off Medicaid as a result. The investigation continues. We've got another case here where 2 people have said they participated in a bribery scheme, but the person who paid the bribe, if one exists, has not yet been identified. Kind of a curious case. Elsewhere in Arkansas, there was conviction in Randolph County yesterday, of a woman for 6 counts of animal cruelty for abusive treatment in a puppy mill of 46 Great Pyrenees dogs. Perhaps it'll serve as a warning to others. There was an interesting theft case up in McGrory we learned about today. A group of people have been arrested and charged for stealing $130,000 worth of corn and soybeans from a granary up in McCrory. One interesting thing is that 2 police officers, one from Augusta and one from McCrory, were involved in the theft scheme. Bald Knob police chief got up one morning this week to learn that somebody had torched his Dodge Ram pickup truck, set it on fire. Coincidentally, the police chief is a person who's prosecuted somebody for open carrying of a weapon into a McDonald's. Coincidentally, somebody spray painted Second Amendment on that car. Surely this is a setup. Surely a law-abiding Second Amendment constitutional believer wouldn't exercise their First Amendment rights by engaging in a criminal activity and burning up a car. The police chief has taken pains to say he didn't think the guy arrested on the gun charge was responsible, didn't think he was that sort of guy. Pretty big of the police chief to be so broad-minded. There's a great read on our blog today by Benji Hardy, and it's about a study for the state that shows the state could save immense sums of money, and families and long-term care patients would be much happier if we'd switch more to a system where people could get care at home rather than have to be placed in institutions, that is nursing home. It seems to make perfect sense, but the nursing home lobby, as we've learned, is particularly powerful. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.
It's gonna be okay.
Oh, he's.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Right?
Yep. He can't walk.